China's current situation exposed, from top to bottom, muddling along and waiting to die. Mainland disaster serious, Ningxia issues hundreds of warnings. China's high temperatures persist, heatstroke death toll suspected to be concealed. Small plane crashes in Hainan, Fuselage marked Anfang International. New report, CCP uses social media to spread rumors and smear Falun Gong. It's all covered in today's China Truths. China's current situation exposed, from top to bottom, muddling along and waiting to die. China's economy is experiencing a persistent downturn, and the prevailing sentiment, from the working class to the middle class, is one of pessimism and disillusionment, with many adopting a lying flat mentality. On August 4, independent commentator Kai Shinkuan shared insights from his friend, Butterfly Dream of the border town, who recently returned to China. Bianqing observed a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction and apathy during his over 20 social gatherings in Guangzhou. Even individuals in positions of power and influence, such as high-ranking officials, university professors, and business leaders, expressed exhaustion and a lack of hope for the future. Many were even inquiring about emigration opportunities. The friend noted that numerous business owners have scaled down their operations significantly, laying off employees and retreating to golf courses to fill their time. He also recounted his experiences with taxi drivers, who were either silent or filled with sighs, reflecting a broader sense of despair in society. Kai Shinkuan's post underscored the gravity of these observations, highlighting that Guangzhou, once a vibrant hub of private enterprise, now serves as a microcosm of the widespread malaise affecting China. The middle class, traditionally seen as a driver of economic growth, is particularly disheartened. Lu Bin, a Huagu opera performer from Hainan province, echoed this sentiment, sharing anecdotes of wealthy acquaintances who are hesitant to work, invest, or start businesses, choosing instead to hoard their savings and live frugally to ensure they can survive into old age, as they viewed investment as inherently loss-making due to the current economic traps and a general atmosphere of resentment. Young people, burdened by mortgages, car loans, and the rising cost of living, are also feeling the strain. In response, a new trend has emerged: youth nursing homes. These establishments, distinct from traditional nursing homes, offer a retreat for young people seeking respite from the pressures of modern life. With a focus on simplicity and relaxation, these spaces provide an escape from technology and the demands of daily life. The cost of these youth nursing homes varies depending on location and amenities, ranging from 1,200 yuan, about $167.26 per month for basic room and board, to more upscale options exceeding 3,500 yuan, about $487.85. This trend reflects a growing desire among young Chinese to step back from the rat race and find solace in a simpler, slower-paced existence. Just last month, one such facility opened its doors in the suburbs of Suzhou, offering weary young souls a week-long respite for a mere 500 yuan, nearly $70. The response has been overwhelming, with hundreds clamoring for a spot even before the building was fully ready. This isn't an isolated incident. Across China, these retreat establishments are becoming more common. In the mountains of Hainan province, a 30-year-old woman named Yanzi has created her own youth nursing home. She describes it as a place far removed from the urban grind, where she and her guests can live simply, tending to animals and enjoying the tranquility of nature. The first official youth nursing home in China was established in Yunnan province in October 2022 by Liu Baiqi. He caters specifically to young adults aged 18 to 45 who have work experience but are seeking a temporary break from the stresses of their careers. Liu notes that many residents experience a positive shift in their mindset during their stay, returning to their lives with renewed energy and focus. The rise of these youth nursing homes speaks volumes about the current state of China's economy. With foreign investment dwindling, factories shutting down, and businesses across various sectors struggling, many young people are feeling overwhelmed and disillusioned. The catering industry, in particular, has been hit hard. A viral video of a distraught restaurant owner in Jiangsu province smashing up his own business due to financial hardship serves as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by many. The incident happened late at night on July 22, 2023. It appears that someone called the police, and when they arrived, the overwhelmed owner poured out his heart, crying, "I've given it my all, but it's only getting harder. I can barely put food on the table for my family." This desperate situation resonated with many online, with comments like, "The struggles of the working class are unimaginable," flooding social media. Another restaurateur shared a similar tale of woe. Having invested 900,000 yuan, about $125,400 to open a restaurant last year, he initially saw brisk business. However, things took a turn for the worse after September, and despite holding on in hopes of a Chinese New Year boost, he's now barely scraping by. The downturn in the economy has left many unemployed, resulting in fewer people dining out. This has led to a wave of restaurant closures, with some establishments shuttering just months after opening. One such owner lamented his failed venture, sharing how he poured over $1 million into a skewer shop, only to see it close within 3 months. Even Shanghai, once a bustling economic powerhouse, is feeling the pinch. A viral video showed a once thriving street now dotted with empty storefronts. A local resident recounted how the area has transformed since the lifting of COVID restrictions in 2022, with 80% of businesses disappearing. She and her colleagues now see the reopening of these shops as a barometer for economic recovery and a potential raise in their salaries. Official figures from China's National Bureau of Statistics reveal a staggering 460,000 restaurants were canceled or had their licenses revoked in the first quarter of this year, a 230% surge compared to the same period last year. March alone saw 180,000 restaurants close their doors. The decline in the restaurant industry is directly tied to the shrinking incomes of Chinese citizens. With widespread unemployment and financial insecurity, people are cutting back on discretionary spending. Ms. Liu, a resident of Shandong province, told Radio Free Asia that people are now hesitant to spend their hard-earned money, opting to save for emergencies instead. This shift in consumer behavior reflects a growing sense of pessimism about the future. This sentiment is echoed online, where money-saving tips and strategies are gaining traction. A recent survey revealed that a significant portion of young people, particularly those in the post-90s workforce, are prioritizing saving. One netizen shared a personal story to illustrate the importance of saving. "Why do I urge everyone to save? Even if it's just a little bit each month, it adds up. Let me tell you about something that happened to me. When I got married, a relative advised me to put aside 500 yuan, nearly $70, every month, no matter what. I followed their advice, even though it didn't seem like much at the time. After a year, I had saved 6,000 yuan, about $836. The next year, I had a baby. My husband's income was barely enough to cover our basic expenses, let alone the added costs of diapers and formula. That's when I dipped into my savings. Those 6,000 yuan were a lifesaver. Unfortunately, I didn't keep up the habit. Years later, I deeply regret it. If I had continued saving 6,000 yuan annually, I'd have 60,000 yuan, about $8,400 by now. With the interest earned, I could have a comfortable 100,000 yuan, nearly $14,000 in my savings account. China's economic struggles are hitting hard, leaving no one untouched. The ripple effects are being felt across the board, from businesses to individuals and families. People everywhere are not just dealing with shrinking incomes, they're facing a future that feels increasingly uncertain. Mainland disaster serious, Ningxia issues hundreds of warnings. Mainland China once again found itself grappling with widespread heavy rainfall on Thursday, August 8. Just the day before, on August 7, a heavy downpour transformed the Taishan scenic area in Shandong into a cascading waterfall. Tourists struggled to navigate the descent, their shoes soaked and some even losing their footing in the rushing water. By Thursday, some routes in the scenic area had gradually reopened, but the respite was short-lived. Hainan, particularly cities like Zhengzhou and Zhumadian, once again found themselves under heavy rain warnings. Streets in Zhengzhou turned into rivers, snarling traffic and forcing pedestrians to wade through flooded sidewalks. The deluge was even more devastating in Zhoukou, Runan, and other regions, where entire villages and towns were inundated, leaving farmland submerged once again. A poignant video captured the despair of a farmer. Farming is really difficult this year, with droughts and floods. Look, it rained for just over 20 minutes, and now the corn seedlings are flooded again. Meanwhile, Shanghai issued a series of yellow alerts for heavy rain, hail, lightning, and strong winds. Satellite imagery showed a dramatic shift in weather conditions, with clear skies rapidly giving way to ominous thunderstorm clouds within just an hour. Hailstones, some reportedly as large as pigeon eggs, pelted areas like Suwei, sending residents scrambling for cover. Meanwhile, in Ningxia province, by 5 p.m. local time, a staggering 35 heavy rain warnings had been issued, along with 23 lightning warnings, 22 strong wind warnings, 13 geological disaster warnings, and 8 mountain flood warnings. Cities across the province witnessed moderate to heavy rainfall, with Hainan County being hit particularly hard, as torrential rains turned roads into waterways, navigable only by boat. The onslaught of heavy rain also reached Xianying in Shaanxi province, where rainfall reached a staggering 145 millimeters. Several overpasses were forced to close due to flooding, causing major disruptions to urban traffic and transportation networks. China's high temperatures persist, heatstroke death toll suspected to be concealed. Amid an ongoing extreme heatwave that has gripped many regions in China, mainland Chinese media finally reported a case of heat-related deaths on August 8. The report followed an announcement on August 7 by the emergency center in Shenzhen, a southern city severely affected by the heat. Between August 1 and 6, the center responded to 88 emergency calls for heatstroke patients. 2 men, aged 62 and 56, lost consciousness and were unresponsive after suffering heatstroke, and both died despite rescue efforts. These may be the first officially reported cases of heatstroke deaths in China during this year's unprecedented heatwave. Yet, Chinese authorities have remained largely silent on the broader impact of the extreme temperatures. According to Reuters, no official data on heat-related deaths has been released. Occasionally, local media have cited government sources reporting only a small number of such deaths. The situation echoes the events of 2022, when China endured its most severe heat wave since 1961. Many regions experienced 79 days of intense heat from June 13 to August 30, yet the government did not disclose any death toll related to the extreme weather. A 2023 report published in the medical journal The Lancet estimated that up to 50,900 people might have died from heat-related causes in China that year, double the number recorded in 2021. In stark contrast, China's Ministry of Emergency Management reported that only 554 people died or went missing due to natural disasters, a figure that is just 1% of the international estimates. This year, following the hottest July in modern history, China is once again facing an extreme heat wave, particularly in East and South China. On Thursday, the China Meteorological Administration continued to issue orange alerts for high temperatures, with many regions, including Shanghai, Fujian, Guangxi, and northern Guangdong, seeing temperatures exceed 37 degrees Celsius. Some areas in Anhui, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang could see temperatures soar above 40 degrees Celsius. When compared to data from other countries, China's official reports on heatstroke deaths seem highly implausible. In Japan, for instance, July 2023 was the hottest July in 126 years. The number of heatstroke deaths reached a record high, with 123 people dying from or suspected of dying from heatstroke in Tokyo's 23 wards alone, 90% of whom were over 60 years old. South Korea's Ministry of the Interior and Safety reported on August 8 that 86 new heatstroke patients were recorded on August 6. Since May 20, the total number of heatstroke patients nationwide in South Korea has reached 1,907, with 18 deaths. In Taiwan, the Ministry of Health and Welfare has stated that the fatality rate for heatstroke exceeds 30%, meaning that 3 out of every 10 people who suffer from heatstroke may die. Given China's vast population, the official heatstroke death toll released by Chinese authorities is raising significant skepticism. Small plane crashes in Hainan, Fuselage marked Anfang International. On the morning of August 8, a plane bearing the Anfang International logo clearly visible on the fuselage crashed in a village in Baizhuo Town, Dongfang City, Hainan Province. The current status of casualties remains unknown at this time. Videos shared by netizens show the white aircraft on the ground, with its cockpit glass shattered. The individual recording the video reported, "The plane crashed about 10 minutes ago and is still leaking oil. The ground is covered in oil." A witness stated that the incident occurred around 7 a.m., describing how they heard a thud but saw no one inside the plane, which had landed in a Longan field. According to a report from Beijing News via WeVideo, village officials from Baizhuo Town and nearby areas confirmed that the plane involved was a small aircraft. "We suspect that the plane may have run off the runway during takeoff. The pilot appears to be unharmed, but the situation is still under investigation." The aircraft belongs to China Rongtong Anfang International Group Company, Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of China Rongtong Asset Management Group Company, Limited. The company specializes in escorting important equipment and materials, special logistics transportation, providing security for critical sites, events, and individuals both domestically and internationally, as well as security engineering, technical services, consulting, assessment, and training. New report: CCP uses social media to spread rumors and smear Falun Gong. The Falun Dafa Information Center has released a comprehensive report revealing that recently leaked internal documents from the Chinese Communist Party, coupled with a surge in cyber attacks, clearly indicate the CCP regime's intensified efforts to weaponize social media and manipulate public opinion on a global scale. Titled Weaponizing Social Media, the CCP's new plan to eliminate Falun Gong worldwide, the report unveils 2 critical internal CCP documents. The first document, which emerged from a provincial-level public security meeting in June this year, explicitly reveals the CCP's agenda to completely eliminate Falun Gong worldwide and to force the closure of the internationally acclaimed Xinyun Performing Arts Group, a classical Chinese dance troupe many of whose performers practice Falun Gong. The second document, dated July this year, is an internal report from the CITIC Reform and Development Research Foundation, a state-run think tank and funding entity under the China International Trust Investment Corporation, CITIC. This document outlines a multifaceted strategy to disseminate defamatory content against Falun Gong through various channels, including news reports, academic papers, short videos, and microdrama, all designed to expand reach and deceive global internet users. Moreover, the CCP is also preparing to launch a spy network to infiltrate Falun Gong and stir up division. According to the report, in June 2024, the Chinese Ministry of Public Security issued directives stating, "Mobilize concealed agents to create and escalate the internal conflicts of Falun Gong, to expand non-stop the fighting strength, depth, and reach of social media influencers targeting Falun Gong and Xinyun. They must attract the continuous attention of the entire United States society, and force the U.S. government to strike on all fronts, eliminating the force of Falun Gong." In light of these revelations, the report calls on the U.S. government and other relevant authorities to take immediate and decisive action. This includes initiating public investigations and ensuring the swift passage of the Falun Gong Protection Act through the Senate, ultimately leading to its enactment as law with the President's signature. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.